Hey everybody, it's Justin Collar with Thrive Success Services, and today we are going to talk about a very important topic, and that topic is how to become a successful student, not just in school, but in your overall life. So this is for students who are looking to become successful, and it's also for parents who are looking for ways to help guide their student or their child into their next level of success. So this is a model that I have personally developed. It's something that everything that I do is founded on, and I hope that you have some takeaways today that will guide you into the next phase of your success. At the center of this model, we have the student. The student is the person who needs to be changed. The student is the person who needs to make the decision or needs the push to step out of their comfort zones and start learning more about themselves. You know, when I was in high school, I wanted to be successful, but I didn't really know what that looked like. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what success was going to mean for me. I knew I wanted to go to college. I knew that I needed to make good grades. I knew that I needed to be able to find a job that I could support a family with and support my lifestyle with, but I wasn't really sure of those exact steps. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're trying to figure that out. Maybe you're confused about your future, or you're worried about the trajectory of where your child is going as they go through high school. I want you to know, you're not alone. You're not the only person who feels that way. There's many people who felt that way. I even feel that way still sometimes with the things that I'm doing. But what I want you to hear is there is a way for you to make progress. There is a way for you to jump into the next level of your life. And so when we start with the student, there's some things we need to add in order to help you get there. So in this model, we don't just leave the student there alone in the dark void. We actually want the student to learn more about themselves and understand things about themselves. Let's take a look. The first thing a student needs to know is who they are. What's their identity? They need to have a deeper understanding of their self. Now, this is kind of hard when you're going through the teenage years because you're trying to define that. And I get it. It's normal. But the problem that a lot of people make is they just kind of float along and they jump from group to group, which looking around and trying to figure out who you want to be is not necessarily a bad thing. But when it's done without purpose, without a plan, without a motive, then you can easily get lost in figuring out who you actually are. To understand yourself, you need to think about things like, who do I want to become? What's valuable to me in my life? How do I want others to perceive me? And when do I know if I'm being successful or not? And the big question, which everybody works towards and everybody refines, it's not a definite thing that you're ever going to officially land on and know that that's 100% it, is what's my purpose in life? How am I going to add meaning to this world? And that's what knowing yourself means. And if you never jump into those questions, you never look into yourself, then it's going to be a little bit harder for you to discover who you are. And the first step to being successful in life is to know who you are and the direction you want to go in and what fuels you, what drives you, what motivates you. So those are some key things that you got to figure out. Another important area that you need to focus on is your understanding and relationship with others. I'm talking about your friends, your dating relationships, your future relationships with your spouse or your partner, if you're going to have a family in the future. All those things seem so far away to you right now, but really, they're not. You are developing pivotal habits on how you are going to interact with people right now, in this very moment, in every day that you go to school, every day that you go to practice, every day that you do anything that involves your peers or your parents or anyone else, you're forming habits that are going to last you a lifetime when it comes to your relationships with others. Now is the time to really focus on what those habits look like and to focus on the outcomes that you want when you interact with others, when you speak to others, when you leave a room and others talk about you. What are the things you want them to say? What are the things you don't want them to say? When we work on how we interact with others, it gives us a more rich life. It helps us identify the people that we want to bring into our lives, and it makes it a lot easier to recognize when it's time to kick some of them out. Another area that you really need to work on when you're thinking towards who you want to become is your future thinking, your vision for who you are going to be in the future, right? I know that right now, sometimes just getting past that math test can seem like a challenge, or getting through the drama of your friendships and your relationships seem like the only thing that matters. But really, if you don't start thinking, at least in a small amount, about the direction you want to go in, the direction you want to move to, the person you want to become, the skills you want to start working on, the level of mastery you want to build for yourself in your life, the expectations and your core values and the things that interest you, then it's going to be hard to take your next big step. And I want to take a minute here to talk about my viewpoint on future. You see, I didn't know where I was going to go to college, like I mentioned earlier, but I knew that I wanted to go. And, luckily I was blessed to attend a university that was perfect for me. I decided to pursue originally a career in teaching, so I got a bachelor's degree that would allow me to teach. And then when I graduated, nobody was hiring teachers. There was a freeze in my state, and I couldn't get a job anywhere, so I did something else. I knew that when I graduated high school, my next big step was to go to college, and I did that. Then once I got to college, my next big step was to figure out what exactly I was going to major in, and I did that, and I graduated. And then when I graduated and was presented with realities of the world, my next big step was to figure out what's next that's not necessarily tied to the degree that I got. And guess what? It was okay. It all worked out. But part of your future and thinking about your future is also the mindset that you have, right? It's the way that you think about things, the way that you perceive things, the way that you interact with things, and the way that you react to things. So future is not just your long-term planning. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. But when we're talking about future, we're talking about not just making plans for the future, but strategies that you can use to safeguard your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings and your hopes and your dreams now, so that even if something doesn't go exactly as planned, you have an idea of how to overcome that. You have some tools in your tool belt to keep moving forward instead of it pulling you back. You also have to have a firm understanding of the purpose of academics. I know that when I was a teacher in the classroom and then an assistant principal at high school later in my career, one of the things that I always heard from my students was, why am I learning this? What does this matter? When am I going to use this in my real life? And I want to answer that question real quick because it's kind of important to me. Not everything that you learn is going to be immediately applied in your life. But the things that you learn, what you have to realize is it's not always about what you are learning or the subject that you're learning, but what's more important is how you learn, how you take in that information, how you listen in class, the way you take your notes, the attention you're able to give to something that you're absolutely not interested in, and the way you're able to motivate yourself to be successful. That's what really matters. And I know that, the Pythagorean theorem has never come up in any of my work. I avoided that on purpose. But the challenge of learning that and the logical thinking that comes from it and everything else that kind of goes into what's required to learn, that is the importance of academics. And those are the skills that you need to hone. Yeah, it's great to get all A's. It's great to be valedictorian. It's great to take high-level courses that are going to push you into your college career. It's great to take courses that are going to get you into the vocation that you want when you graduate. None of that is bad, but your perception and the way that you tackle academics is way more important than the grades you get and the overall subject that you're learning. Now, again, looking at this model, we have this triangle, right, where you, the student, are present. You're surrounded by all of these things that you need to excel in order to be successful. We've got self, we've got others, we've got your future, we've got academics, right? These things can be honed in with skills. You can be taught to be successful. There are strategies that you can use in order to boost your life in these areas. There's no question about that. And the cool thing about working on those things in your life is this. When you begin to work on yourself and work on your perception and interactions with others, that's going to build in a level of courage that you've never had before. If you know who you are and how you want to be perceived by your peers, by your family members, and even by strangers, when you have a clear understanding of those types of interactions, you're going to have courage like never before. You're not going to doubt yourself because you know what's important to you. You've done that work. You're not going to be scared or nervous to introduce yourself to a complete stranger or to go into a new situation where you're going to be meeting people or even to take your friendships to a deeper level. You see, when you know yourself and you know how you want to interact with others, your courage grows exponentially. Another benefit of doing this work is you're going to build your confidence. Listen, if you're able to go up to anyone and strike up a conversation that is fun, that makes people laugh, that keeps people interested, that makes them feel good, right? And you mix that with success in academics and knowing that your future is going in the direction you want because you're confident in your abilities in the classroom, even if you're not confident in the subject, but you know you have the skills and the knowledge in order to make yourself be successful, you're going to build your confidence. There's no question about it. A lot of times people don't realize how just a little lack of confidence in even one class period in the day can weigh you down, can kill your soul, can make you be less joyful, less effective. Because even if you're not thinking about it, your subconscious brain is always thinking about that in the background. Then when you get to that class or that situation or that scenario, it's not going to get any better because you haven't handled it. But when you do handle that and you are confident in your situations with others, nobody's going to be able to stop you. You are going to be literally unstoppable because you have two cornerstone things set and you have the skills that you need in order to overcome any new challenges that you have. Yeah, you're just going to be unstoppable. No one will be able to touch you. I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video, but a lot of the big worries when I deal with my personal one-on-one clients that my students have and that their parents echo are just your future and what that looks like. Where am I going to go to college? What kind of job am I going to get? How am I going to decide right now when I'm 16, 17, 18 years old what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big deal, right? But I have some good news for you. You don't have to decide when you're 16, 17, or 18 what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You only have to decide what you're going to do in the next phase of your life. And if college is that next phase for you, pick the college, pick the major, give it your all. If going into the workforce is the next phase for you, get certified, get skilled up, get hired, and get to work. Those are the things that are going to be important for you. And when you have a clear vision on your future and you have the skills and the certifications and the background in order to be successful, you're going to prove to yourself that you are capable of doing anything. And you're not just going to prove to yourself, but you're going to prove it to the entire world because you're going to be out there getting the job, getting into the college, and making the moves in order to prove to yourself and prove to others that you have what it takes. The last little bonus or outcome, whatever you want to call it, of this model is you just gain a sense of clarity about your life when you have all these things aligned. Especially when you do the work to know who you are, where you want to go, what you value, what you stand for, what brings you joy. And you mix that with having a plan for your future. Maybe it's a 5-year plan. Maybe it's a 5-month plan, a 5-week plan, a 5-minute plan, right? Any kind of planning towards your future, though, is a beneficial one. I can tell you that. You're not going to regret any time that you sit down and think about where you want to go next. It took me 34 years to get to that conclusion for myself, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I finally got there. But let me tell you, if you're watching this video right now, there's a reason you're here. There's a reason that you clicked watch. There's a reason that you stayed all the way to the end of this fairly long video. And I hope that that reason is because you are smart enough, and I know you are because you're here right now, to not wait 34 years like I did, but to start using the shortcuts that I'm giving you. Start using the shortcuts that mentors in your lives and people that care about you are giving you, the wisdom that they're sharing with you, the advice that they're giving to you. Don't just take in knowledge, take in knowledge, take in knowledge. No. That's not what we do. We take in knowledge and we act. We move. We plan. We go forward. That's where I want you to go. That's who I want you to be. And now I'm not saying that I regret the steps of my life. I don't. I took every situation as what is my next big move. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I've been happy with what I'm doing every step of the way. But I can tell you that I wouldn't be happy if I didn't make a plan for the future. I wouldn't be happy if I just said, this is fine. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'll just stay stuck. It's okay. It's comfortable. It's convenient. No, you got to push yourself out of that comfort zone. You got to go for it. You got to be who you want to be. And here's the thing about success. You right here watching this video, whether you're an adult, whether you're a student, whether you're a grandparent, whether you're whoever you are, you might even be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Only you can define your own version of success. Only you truly knows what makes you happy. Only you possess the ability to dig deep into your soul, deep into your thoughts, dreams, and desires, and pull them out and turn them into your future. Nobody else can do that for you. So if you're waiting around for someone to figure it out for you, well, somebody might, and I'm going to tell you, lots of people have opinions, so they probably will, but it's not going to be your future. It's not going to be your success. It's not going to be your plan. So I'm pushing you right now. Consider your future. Consider personal growth and development. Consider all of these things that I've talked about, because when you do, you are going to gain a sense of clarity for your life like never before. And I'm not just telling you this because I'm a coach. I'm not just telling you this because I make videos about it. I'm telling you this because I have lived it. I have a clarity chart everywhere I go. I have it on my computer. I have it next to my whiteboard. I have it taped to my laptop. I even have it taped to the top of my sun visor in my vehicle so that no matter where I am, no matter what I'm doing, I can see my values, how I want to interact, how I know I'm being successful, what my purpose is, where I'm going, what's my plan, what's my future. And I can tell you that daily reflection on those things has changed my life. And I want it to change your life too. I don't care if you're 12, I don't care if you're 15, I don't care if you're 32, I don't care if you're 110. This model, my student success model, can change your life. Let's look at the last piece of this. Notice we've gone back to the student triangle here, and there's 3 simple words. There's know, there's thrive, and there's grow. That's actually the motto of Thrive Success Services, because we believe that when you know who you are, when you know how you want to impact others, when you know about your plans for your future, when you know how to be successful academically, the outcomes that you get are going to cause you to thrive. You're going to thrive in courage. You're going to thrive with your confidence. You're going to thrive with your capability. You're going to thrive when you have a new sense of clarity like never before. And then you're going to grow. You're going to keep working on yourself. You're going to retool the plan. You're going to continue to look at your future, and you're going to continue to do assessments on your own self. You're going to grow. You're going to change. You're going to mature. You're going to get a job. You're going to lose a job. You're going to go to college. You're going to leave college. You're going to graduate college. You're going to go to this job and that job and start a family and do all these things. And all along the way, you will continue to work on these things for the rest of your life. And that, my friends, is how you define success. And that's my mission for you. I want to help guide you to define your own version of success. I want to help you think in ways about yourself that you have never thought about yourself before. I want you to be so clear on your goals, on your future, on strategies to be successful in the classroom, on who you are, on how to interact with others, that just your presence in a room inspires other people. Do you want that for yourself? Do you want to be someone who is known as inspiring, who is known as put together, who is known as approachable, who is known as someone who has a plan? Maybe you've never thought about this before, and maybe it still seems super far off for you. But I want to challenge you. I want you to think about that today. Think about what that looks like for you. Think about how you've interacted with yourself in the past and where you want to go, and are you doing anything about it? I want to challenge you to make a big move. Hey, if you stayed this long, congratulations. I am so excited because that means you're committed. I have something for you. It's just a free gift of mine, especially if you're in high school right now. I have a getting into college checklist that I've designed. This checklist is designed to give you step-by-step instructions on researching your college and your major, the questions you can ask the admissions officers to figure out if it's a right fit for you, all the way through financial aid, FAFSA, application process, getting into college, and more. So again, I want you to be successful. I'm going to push you. I'm going to challenge you. Click that link in the description or that link in my bio, depending on what platform you're watching this on. And I want you to take your very first steps, even if you're an 8th grader. and start looking towards your future. What does it look like to plan for college? What are the things you're going to need to do? And hey, seniors out there that haven't even made any plans yet, I want you to download this too, because it's either going to help get you into gear, or if you're on the path to college already, it might remind you of something that you forgot. So again, there's no obligation. It doesn't cost anything. Just click that link, sign up. You'll get it delivered straight to your inbox, and I hope that it helps you. Thank you so much for listening today. If you can't tell, I am passionate about your success. I want you to be successful. And don't just exist. Thrive.